Charm, welcome to Palma de Mallorca. We are here in Las Islas Baleares, off the coast, the east coast of Spain, and we're going to take you through a tour of the old town, to the amazing cathedral, to the stunning guild hall, and up to a castle that has been dominating the landscape of this city for 800 years at this point. First, we will start with where we are now. We are outside the Mercat del Olivar, which is a market hall during the morning and afternoon, in which one can spend a great deal of time just eating one's way through all of the food stalls. It's now past that time, everything is closed, but I did want to give you a tip. If you miss all of the restaurants serving lunch and the market hall serving lunch, inside this market hall there is a grocery stall called Mercadona. And Mercadona has a lovely selection of high quality ready-made items, including super delicious salads with goat cheese and chicken on them. Really cheap, €4 each. Comes with all the things you need: salad dressing, olive oil, vinegar, salt, utensils. They have a spot where you can eat it. So that's where we ate a very inexpensive but high quality and tasty lunch here in Palma versus the very overpriced tourist restaurants. You can decide which one is better for you. I personally prefer to have quality food that doesn't cost too much and not get taken advantage of like a tourist.
Hi, Susan.
Susan, welcome to... Thank you for that confirmation, Susan. Welcome to Palma. Takeda is there too. Fantastic. I know. So we are headed ultimately to the Castel Belver, which literally means the castle with a beautiful view. And it was built back in the 13th century, and it is a unique castle. It is a round castle. So I am excited to visit that. But we are starting here in the old city of Palma. What?
Headdress.
Oh, yes. So, yes, why am I dressed like this for those of you who are normally just my travel people? Yeah, I'm dressed in my 15th century Countess adventuring attire. I did not gown up today because it's been raining on and off, and I didn't feel like fighting with 20 yards of train and hemline in rain. So the layout of this part of the city is still medieval, but of course, many of the buildings have been updated, similar to Barcelona, but in the core of the medieval quarter, there are some really stunning bits of architecture to explore. What was the question?
Is that a new hat?
Oh, is this a new hat? No, well, new depends on what you mean by new. I had this at Penzic. Oh, no, this is not my new, no. This is not my new miter. This is not my new turret. This is the lower part of the old turret. Let's go this way. This is the lower part of the old turret. So basically it's just a truncated turret. It's the same thing I had at Penzic. Nothing new. I have not yet finished the new one. Nope. So the layout of the city, you can definitely get a feel for the winding streets. No kitties. We have not seen a single stray cat, which is a little alarming. We did not see any stray cats in Barcelona. We didn't see any stray cats here. I'm wondering if there's a machine that sweeps the streets every night and vacuums up the stray cats. As always, everyone, you must look up when walking about these cities. You can see layers of history and architecture. So Palma has, of course, had inhabitants for thousands of years, like basically the entire Mediterranean. The Romans apparently set up shop here rather late, according to what I understand, in the 1st century AD. And it was actually a Roman consul who gave its name of Palma. It was then... What is like us Americans? Oh, just check out this adorable, super narrow passageway. Gotta love it.
Wider in the video than it is.
Yeah, the video adds 20 inches. So eventually, Palma was conquered. The Visigoths came here and set up shop, and then the Arabs came and conquered it as part of the great Arab conquest of the 7th and 8th century. And they stayed in power until the 13th century when King Jaume I, or Jaume, unfortunately, I actually don't know anything about the pronunciation rules for Catalan, so forgive me. I know Spanish pronunciation rules. Yeah, no car. No car. Definitely no car.
Stairs are bad enough for me right now.
Yeah. I just wanted to not go through that horrible crowd.
Oh, you got to make sure that we can still
Yeah.
get back to where we're actually trying to.
I mean, I know, just keep going down, you eventually hit the water. So the Arabs ruled Palma until the 13th century, and then we went to the Museum of the Archdiocese, which had a lot of really beautiful and religious art that I've never seen in any art history book. And it was very charming how they discussed the establishment of the cathedral. They said, when Jaume the First, sorry, that's really loud. When Jaume the First brought Christianity to Palma, I was like, oh, really? Really? Okay, that's one way of looking at it, I guess. Oh, yeah, so we did. In that same museum, we learned something about the end of the story of St. George and the Dragon. The Roman, but that's the same St. George. Yes, it was the same St. George. So St. George was apparently actually martyred by the Romans after he rescued the princess from that dragon. They cut off his head eventually for being Christian, supposedly, which is never ever mentioned in the tellings of St. George and the Dragon. The other interesting thing we learned from that museum was that after the princess was saved, so that's Neo-Gothic, everyone, / Neo-Renaissance, not historical buildings. We talked about this yesterday. Eventually you learn to recognize the difference between authentic original architecture and the neo versions. The neo versions are nearly always way overdone. Let's go up here. So anyway, St. George lost his head. But what's interesting, another thing we learned, on St. George's feast day, it is traditional in this part of Spain, at the very least, perhaps all of Spain, to give books and roses as a gift, because the princess, after St. George liberated her from the dragon, she composed a poem and gave it to him. And when the dragon was killed, the blood dripped down from the dragon and became roses. So George gave her the roses. So therefore it is now a tradition to give books and roses on St. George's feast day.
They had a real dragon in there.
Oh, and they had a real dragon. Apparently, in the 18th century, so the urban legend goes, a crocodile ended up loose amongst the city and hunt people down in the night and eat them. So, eventually, a brave, bold knight came into the city and slew the vicious crocodile. And then, as a sign of his love for his lady, this is the 18th century, by the way, he gave her the crocodile. Yeah.
And they kept it until they donated.
Supposedly, her family had it taxidermied, and it was stayed in the family until the 20th century when they donated it to the museum. So there's this crusty, somewhat preserved tiny crocodile. It's a tiny crocodile. A pygmy crocodile? I don't even know if that's a thing. Oh, yeah, sure. Go into crowds of people, my favorite thing. Right, so the Plaza Mayor is, of course, a big open space. At nighttime, this will be filled by people imbibing heavily and eating heavily and laughing and smoking a lot because it's Spain. But yeah, it's a beautiful space. It would be interesting to have an apartment looking out on the square, but also probably hellish if you like sleeping at night, because the Spanish, they don't mess around when it comes to their nighttime late dinner and tapas and wine and the whole thing. And of course, there's many tourists here as well. So
we did get photographs of a lot of stuff in there.
They can't hear you necessarily. What was the question?
Susan asked, any reason for not photographing the Diocesan Museum?
Oh no, so for those who are interested, we took lots of pictures at the Diocese Museum. They were super kind and it was free. Oh my gosh, after Turkey, where everything costs so freaking much. We walk into the museum and they're like, well, this museum's free, but we can sell you tickets to the cathedral. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Combo ticket. And the cathedral was only 10 euros, not 30 or 40 or something absurd. The Diocese Museum had art we've never seen before in any art book by local artists depicting people in local clothing, so that was very interesting, for certain. The cathedral itself was interesting, not so much from a medievalist perspective, because honestly, there's not much medieval left about it. Even though the structure is still Gothic original, the interior has been updated multiple times over the centuries. You know, many of the chapels have been Baroqueified. And of course, Barceló is one of the famous 20th century artists who's from Palma. There's a famous chapel, and then I took pictures, and you might recognize it, some of you art history people. Barceló redid the interiors of one of the chapels with some very disturbing fish. You will recognize it when I post the pictures. So, yeah. We were thinking about live streaming in the cathedral, but honestly, we were too hungry and tired. But now we've re-energized with a good meal. Well, yeah, as we have been learning, basically since Topkapi, medieval buildings are wretched when it comes to reception. Okay, I guess we'll go down this nightmarish road. Oh, yeah. So we are now deep into the heart of the old quarter. You know, here is a a shop with cork items. Cork is a local material. Why is my condottiero laughing?
Takeda said 18th century knights were menacing crocodile there. I wonder if he used a spear or if he was like, oh heck no, shot it.
I suspect the flintlock would have bounced off of him. No, but it was a tiny thing. It was kind of embarrassing, honestly. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So I will tell you, walking down this street, there is not, you definitely hear a blend of languages. Amongst them is not much Spanish. But it's a really neat street architecturally, and again, it's especially important to look up. The city was subject to some violence during the Spanish Civil War, so there are plenty of examples of buildings that have had to been replaced with completely modern atrocities. Not that I have any judgment about it, you know. But some of the 19th century architecture has survived, and some of that is quite lovely.
Actually, we're walking directly into the sun.
Oh, are we? Of course we are. It's get around the children. We try not to film children if we can avoid it. Sometimes they run into the camera, though. They are such free radicals. You can never predict what children will do. Yeah, the crocodile story was pretty funny, especially when we got to see the crocodile. It's like, oh, that was the big menace, huh? And honestly, this thing is too small to get anyone and eat them. So I'm pretty certain it's an urban legend. Maybe people much smaller back then? I don't know.
It was a city populated only by children.
It was the city of children. Oh, so here we have a fantastic example of neo-Gothic, neo-Mozarabe. This is definitely not original, but it helps illustrate the point I was making yesterday, which is the neo versions of the original architectural movements are always more intense, more detailed, more layered. Still, it's a beautiful building, really gorgeous. But definitely a riff off of medieval Arabic styles, which were here until the 13th century. And in fact, there's the Arab baths, not bathrooms. The Arab baths have survived the medieval ones, and you can actually visit them. Still no kumquats. What is wrong with this island?
Kumquats anywhere here, except for the one tree, one kumquat.
In Greece. Yeah, I do wonder about some of the tourist shops, well, presumably tourist shops, that sell items that are way too big for tourists to take home. Like Villeroy and Bosch, for instance.
Probably shipped.
I will say when I was reading through, looking for recommendations on restaurants and whatnot, I did find a lot of reviews on TripAdvisor that were actually written in Spanish by people who live here in Palma. So even though this is certainly a tourist sector, even the locals come here to walk around in the pedestrian zone and just enjoy the atmosphere, as frenetic as it may be.
I was talking about the building that we went by a little while ago.
Oh yeah, the Mozarabe. Yeah, so remember that the Moors colonized here. They conquered it. They didn't colonize, they conquered. They conquered it in the 8th century. And
English colonization.
Yeah, that's right. Not English, they conquered it in the 8th century. And they started projects of serious public works construction in the style that would be recognizable in places like Syria, Persia, Palestine, which I personally find that aesthetic highly appealing. Oh, we somehow left the old city. Yeah, back up. Well, and by left old city, I mean the part that survived the bombing during the Spanish Civil War. As with many things, many places of beauty in Spain, this was a Republican holdout. Yeah. And I should clarify, when I say Republican, I'm not referring to the modern political party in the United States. They were the anti-fascists, actually. How is that for ironic? They were the original anti-fascists. Before World War II, there was already an anti-fascist movement, and they were called Republicans. Well, hell. Yeah, right? Yeah, because they were the supporters of the Spanish Republic, which was intended to replace the monarchy. Yeah, look at these gorgeous neo-Mozarabe buildings, neo-Gothic, neo-Renaissance. Yeah. So this, for when Jaume I conquered this in the 13th century, it then became a kingdom of its own. But eventually, of course, rulers from the mainland started eyeing it for its resources, for its position here, sort of off the coast of Spain, offering naval ports and trading points and whatnot. And so then eventually the kingdom of Aragon turned its attention to it. And then, of course, Castilla started eyeing it. It just. So when eventually the unification of Spain happened, you know, Palma fell into that greater Spanish kingdom. So there's actually a palace here in the old city, a royal palace, that the last time we were here was still a royal palace and still used by the Spanish monarchy as a residence when they are here on the island. It is medieval in origins, but of course, like many buildings in Europe, it has that continue to be used. It has been updated over the centuries. So it's often a question of what is original and what is not. So here we are at the corner of said palace. So it's relevant. What I was saying was absolutely planned for me to give that little mini lecture right now. Right, so look up, everyone. Isn't that stunning? Yeah. So these parapets, these battlements, were functional originally, and the castle that we're going to visit, Castel Belver, had similar battlements, but unfortunately, they were removed when the castle was updated, remodeled to make it useful for cannons. Yeah, I love all the doors going to somewhere, presumably, but, you know, to which I have no access, sadly.
Judging by that, it's an electrical substation.
Yeah, I think now it's an electrical substation. So in the cathedral we're about to visit, there were actually, in the 16th century, there were several women who were actually walled up inside the rooms that had been made in the walls of the cathedral because they wanted to be. So these were women who wanted to live an isolated religious life, focusing fully on spirituality and prayer and not to be bothered by the outside world. So they entered on purpose, entered the chamber. The chamber was walled up and there was just a hole through which supplies could be passed and out of which supplies could be removed. And this cathedral was famous for that. And that is an extension of the extreme religiosity of the kings, the monarchs of this island, starting in the 13th century. They endowed monastery after monastery, but what's interesting is it was really focused especially on on convents.
Oui. Yes.
Unfortunately, the toddler was playing, but the toddler went into the road. So here we are at this cathedral. Isn't she stunning? Yeah.
They can't really see.
Well, if we go to the front and go
We need to
down,
go that side.
Yeah.
That corner down there.
and look back the other way. This is the royal palace over here. It's good digs if you can get them. So these women were walled up because the crown of Mallorca, in this fever of religiosity, endowed monastery after monastery. But they really focused on convents. So there were a large number of convents on this island. And of course, that gave room for women in the Middle Ages here in Mallorca to rise to positions of prominence and power by, entering the monastic community and working their way up through the leadership positions. So it's interesting, the differences in sort of the monastic focus between here and the mainland. Not that there weren't convents on the mainland.
What is the royal palace now?
It's still a royal palace. It's still a royal palace and a
tour it.
museum. Yeah, it's a museum. You can tour it. It does have some of its medieval rooms are still there. You can see the arrow slits here at ground level. Yeah, this is the Royal Palace. Now, we haven't been back here since 2018, and we didn't go here today. We didn't get off the ship until much later than we'd wanted. But yeah. So I'm not certain if the current king, Carlos, is using it still as his residence when he's on the island, but I rather assume he probably would.
But I don't think they've been able to see so far is the view from the church.
Yeah.
Towards the water.
So this cathedral is honestly best viewed almost from our cruise ship, which is all the way on the other side of the harbor, on the other side of the port. She is a really stunning example of Gothic architecture. You know, the flying buttresses are so elegant, although you can't necessarily see them. So up until relatively recently, the ocean actually lapped at the base of this wall.
Right now?
Oh, did I say Carlos? Yeah, Felipe. Yes, Felipe, not Carlos. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking about some other bits of history here. So up until relatively recently, the ocean actually lapped at the walls. I think of Juan Carlos, who was the last king. Actually came up to the walls here. So they've actually...
Thinking about the one in the 15th century.
Yeah. No, that was the 18th century, Carlos III. Yeah, the one, the Habsburg king who was so genetically flawed that he, like, yeah, like he couldn't breathe, he couldn't spit, he couldn't walk properly. His face was a horror show. Yeah. Okay. And honestly, if you combine the value of, you see all those, can they see the masts? Probably not, though, right? Right. So there's a forest of masts over there, and if you, as you drive by those masts or walk by them, you really understand the term a forest of masts. And if you combine the value of all of those tall-masted, tall-ship yachts and catamarans and other kinds of yachts that are out there, I would say that it's the GDP of probably California. The annual GDP of California in terms of value. There's a lot of money sitting over there. Yeah, really beautiful.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah, so one of the things we've noticed lately in Istanbul was the same way at Topkapi Palace. When they are doing work on the cathedral, they're now putting up scaffolding and they're putting these covers on it that have a silk screened or a printed replica depiction of the cathedral underneath, so that the building underneath, so that it's not a terrible eyesore, which I think is pretty wonderful because it actually does make it much less conspicuous than if there were just bare scaffolding.
30-minute like and subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're enjoying this tour of Palma, then please do like and subscribe. We will be continuing onward now because we actually don't have all of the time in the world because the castle closes at 7. Yeah, so onward. Yeah, I mean, that'll give us an hour. Yeah, unfortunately, we exited the ship much later than we had intended today. Happily, we're in port until 11:30. Unhappily, the castle closes at 7, so being in port late doesn't help us with castle access. So we are now proceeding to a stunning piece of 15th century Gothic architecture, the 15th century Guildhall, which is right on the coast here. Oh, funny thing about all of these blanket merchants, when they have a lookout, and you can see them all ahead of us, they have a lookout posted, and when the police start approaching, you'll notice the blankets. Well, they have them designed to burrito up in about 5 seconds and turn into sacks they can put on their back and just walk away. And they do. They do it. We watched it. We witnessed it happen multiple times. I mean, it's got to be some kind of game because obviously the police know who they are. Yeah, the view from here. One of the things I love about Gothic cities, Gothic architecture, is the way it layers. at, at all levels, at eye level, up above, the, the dynamism of the flamboyant style, as it was called, because it looks like flames. And of course, as with Barcelona and pretty much any other city in Europe where the Romans laid down roots, the cathedral and various of these buildings are built right on the ancient Roman walls. Yeah. Yeah, there's a secret inaccessible pool down there. I don't know if that's the private pool belonging to the palace or you're not allowed to walk on this. This is an approach to the palace. I was very frustrated by the gate that was blocking my attempts to walk on it because this is a much nicer approach, but there it is. And actually, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if this weren't a Roman aqueduct originally. That they just built right into. But that's me assuming. Oh, yes, you're right. That's me assuming. Okay. Down the stairs. Now, we will endeavor, if we can, to come back and do a nighttime tour of the Gothic quarter specifically, because when this cathedral is illuminated, it takes your breath away. So yeah, ironically, Spain, with its much higher cost of living than Turkey, is a much less expensive place to visit than Turkey is. Funny that. Yeah, it's okay. It's somewhere along here. Yeah, do post another comment so we know the chat is still working. And if you're enjoying, please like and subscribe. The usual thing, you know. I think this way for the lonja. So we're out here on the marina, but the sun is very bright. So I guess we'll focus on the buildings over here. If you see anything that you would like to see more closely, just let me know. Still no kitties. I know. Again, I don't know what they've done with their stray population, but it's a little ominous. Yeah, we did not dance last night. We got back so late from touring Barcelona that we ate dinner and went to bed because it was about 10 by the time we finished dinner. And at that point, I'd been awake. This is the lonja up here, handsome. Look up. Yeah, I woke up at 5 a.m. yesterday, as is my wont these days. And by the time we, walked the 8 miles around Barcelona, and by the time we ate dinner, it was 10 o'clock. Yeah, I was ready for bed. I was ready for sleep. Sweet, sweet sleep. So here, this amazing, gorgeous building here is the lonja. This is the Guild Trade Hall. That is, of course, here on the port, because this is where the goods would come in and go out. And of course, quality control was a thing. Valencia also has an amazing guild hall. Yeah. So let's go in. Okay, they've unfortunately filled it with Miro sculptures apparently, but Yeah, so just imagine this space for your respective medieval event because guild halls were also often used for things like balls and feasts and festivities hosted by the guilds. Yeah, right. See? One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. Yeah, it's an amazing building. The guild hall, the Lonja in Valencia, is very similarly stunning, and it makes me so sad that they're not hosting balls and festivities in here anymore, and have instead installed Miro sculptures in here that do not belong in this space. I do not like it when they put modern garbage in medieval spaces.
Somebody would come and pick up all this garbage that's in here.
I mean, I know everyone has their own taste, but there are museums specifically for modern art. That is where modern art should go. Now, something I've mentioned before and I'll mention again. So you see they've put glass on these windows now. The buildings were probably not made with glazed windows. When this was built in the 15th century, this was just open. I mean, it's Palma. The weather doesn't really get that bad here. So, yeah.
I love the columns with the unicorn swirl as well. Susan.
Yes, yeah. So this is a very specific, as far as I can tell, Spanish Gothic style. I haven't seen swirly columns like this anywhere in Gothic art and architecture outside of Spain.
Shall
Yeah.
we continue on?
Onward. Onward. We want to get to the castle. So here it's slightly less touristed, this square is, slightly, but you know, children playing. This is how it works in Spain. You come out with the whole family, you kind of take route for the evening, and
Church.
yeah, nice, originally medieval, but probably updated in the Baroque era church. And and now we walk. Indeed. And now we walk. Yeah, it's over there. It's over there. And as we go by, we can admire the beauty of the Lonja from the outside. So if you come to Spain, breakfast normally is some kind of bready thing and some coffee. That's it. It's not, breakfast is just meant to literally get you started long enough so you can go to work. And then there is usually a mid-morning break where you have more coffee and probably another bready pastry. And then lunch comes at about 1 to 2, starts at 1 to 2, and generally continues until 4, the lunch break. Or later, depending on your part of Spain. That's the big meal. Yeah, well, and that's the thing about Europe. You really do see children out playing. So big meal, the biggest meal in Spain is traditionally lunch. That is changing in certain parts of Spain where the day has become much more modern industrial and has wandered away from the traditional Spanish schedule.
We're gonna wait.
No, we're gonna wait. Those men almost fell out of the van trying to look at me. Okay, so yeah. But traditionally the biggest meal, burritos are Mexican. But of course, as I was going to say, a lot of Latin American and Central American cuisine has been back imported into Spain. For example, empanadas are originally from Chile or Argentina. They're now super popular here. We saw places selling burritos everywhere, but we also saw places selling kimbap. So Spain is not immune to the tides of changing food fashion.
Small loggia.
Yeah, this building has a gorgeous loggia up there, which they have sadly glassed in. You know, sometimes you just have to learn to live without air conditioning. When I was studying in Spain 25 years ago, Lunch was still, I was in Granada, and lunch was absolutely still a 2 to 3 hour break. And we did, in fact, after eating lunch, we did, in fact, take a nap, usually 30 minutes long. And then afterwards, you go out and take a walk, and then people went back to work. I, on the other hand, went up to the Alhambra to study and or write essays and research papers and whatnot. So these were built, this is part of a star fort. So for those who aren't familiar with this transition from medieval defensive architecture to Renaissance and Baroque, basically when you start seeing star-shaped forts, that is the era of cannon. And it was determined at some point that that was the best layout to defend against cannon fire and also to offer, wow, that some people really like sharing their music, I guess. Sorry about that. The Star Fortress also allowed for the greatest range of and directionality vectors for your cannons. So, yeah, so we're definitely here into the 16th century with this Star Fortress here. You especially see Star Fortresses generally along the coast. Well, so we're actually still trying to figure out what we're doing in Cartagena. If the trains run favorably, and we can easily get from Cartagena to Granada, then yes. The answer is yes. The castle. That was the castle. Then yes, we will definitely be touring the Alhambra. I have not returned to the Alhambra 25 years. I haven't been back in 25 years. So I'll be interested to see what they've renovated, what they've updated, what it looks like. What? Oh. It'll be interesting to see what they've updated, what they've renovated, maybe what new spaces are now included in the tour. I really need to look at that, though. Unfortunately, we've been having internet connectivity issues because I'm going to bet that now the Alhambra has timed entry, and it wouldn't shock me if the tickets for tomorrow are already sold out. Now, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't even looked to see if we have a sea day tomorrow or if we're proceeding directly to Cartagena. We have no idea. When we booked this next leg at the drop of a hat, we didn't really care where it was going. Ooh, fig tree. Fig tree. If any of you wonder what a fig tree looks like, this is it. But apparently everyone has already taken all the yummy figs. Oh, no, there's some very, very unripe ones. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, look at that view. That's some stunning waterworks there. Feels a little bit like a fantasy city in some ways.
Do you imagine a scaling ladder?
No.
No.
No scaling ladders, not for these. I haven't heard any parrots, unusually. Oh, that was a bit of excitement this morning on the Lido deck, which is the buffet deck on any cruise ship. There was a little bird, a cute little guy, inside, right with us, inside the dining area. He had flown in through the door and I think became very confused, and he was flying around. He did not want to be caught and released into the wild, however. It turns out, though, that there's actually a colony of these cute little birds on the ship, and that they eat the crickets that have also colonized the decks of the ships. Yeah, so if you're wondering how birds make it around the world, they don't fly anymore. They cruise. Yeah. So now we're getting into newer parts of the city, well, newer as they are now. Some of the interesting things we saw in the Diocesan Museum of Religious Art was depictions of Palma from the 15th century. And so it's always interesting to see how it actually looked in the era, because of course you can't really get an idea because there's so many different architectural eras represented here. And we're crossing. But that's true of a lot of Flemish painting as well. If you pay attention and you look in the background of medieval Flemish painting, so 15th, 16th century, look in the background, look at the buildings and the cities that are represented. Those are nearly always real buildings, real cities. So you can really see what Delft used to look like, or Bruges, or Brussels, or Ghent. And then, in fact, you'll realize that this so-called medieval city has in fact changed quite a bit. More than we medieval living history practitioners would perhaps like. Yeah. Yeah. The sea of the forest of masts. Unsurprisingly, Palma being an island or a city on an island, Mallorca, there are large numbers of marinas all over the island. It therefore makes it very attractive for rich fat cats with expensive boats all over the island to set up shop here. But something I noticed as I drove by, or not drove by, as we rode by in the bus shuttle from the port, is that, ooh, there's a windmill up there, medieval windmill. They probably can't see it. Oh, again. Yep. So these rich fat cats, as we drove by, as we rode past in the bus, I looked and examined the make and model of the cars that were in the port. It's very clear that the people who were there were not the owners of the boats, but the people tasked with caring for the boats when the owners are away, because these rich cats are so rich that they can just pay to dock their super yacht in Mallorca indefinitely and pay someone else to take care of it. Yeah. If I had that kind of money, I would absolutely not waste it on a boat. But that's just me. Okay, well actually I might have a caravel, let's be honest. Okay, so here is an example of medieval windmills, actually. Cynthia, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are in Palma de Mallorca. Mallorca is one of the Islas Baleares, Balearian Island? Balearic, that's what they're called in English. The Balearic Islands. Yeah, sadly. I think they've built a wall around them so that maybe you can see them from here. Then they'll be backlit, unfortunately. Yeah, but so a lot of people don't understand the purpose of windmills. Originally, they were designed to grind. Well, they had different purposes. In Netherlands, they were used to pump the water out of the marsh areas so that they could reclaim the land and build on it and farm on it. But in many other places, they were used to grind grain. So it's an example of a green power being used in the Middle Ages to perform a function, an automated function of grinding the grain. Maybe? Right. These are the much more interesting parts of Spain anyway. These neighborhoods that are well away from the tourists. Of course, I would bet that many of these apartments, being too small for modern tastes, have been turned into vacation rentals available on Urbo and Airbnb.
Yeah, that was a cat dog, not a wild dog.
Oh no, that was, yeah. I will tell you though, when I was in Granada studying, there were indeed packs of feral dogs that had been abandoned by their owners because, you know, these people who dwell in apartments thought it was a great idea to get a Dalmatian puppy. It's all great as long as they're puppies, but then they become big Dalmatians, and then they want to do things that you can't do in an apartment as a Dalmatian. And so this is really pretty. This is lovely. Welcome to Wandering with the Contessa. This is how I travel. We are getting closer to the castle. That's terrifying. Oh, they're working on a park down there. We will not be it will be lovely. So, oh yeah, for children. How nice. It's beautiful homes up here with this fantastic view. There it is. The sea, the forest of masts. You said sea earlier.
I said sea earlier. I meant forest of masts.
The forest of masts. And our ship is the furthest one away. They put us at the furthest bloody berth you can imagine. It's like, you assholes. And we were not the last in port, so that's no excuse. We were second in port. Watch that fat cat Costa ship cruise in and take what should have been our parking spot. Yeah, have any of you been to Palma? If you see anything as we're walking around and you would like to look at it more closely, please do feel free to tell us and we will go take a closer gander. Yeah, this one's looking in pretty good shape actually, this mill here. Yeah. Still has the sails mostly, or the spars. Yeah, the spars are mostly there.
Yes, they're windmills. Phil Goodyear says, or Phil Goodyear. Phil Goodyear. Phil Goodyear says.
Phil, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Susan, these are windmills.
These are windmills. They were used to grind grain. Also, apparently, a house was built around this one. And
you remember they were also used to process ore in that one island.
Oh, yeah, that's true. One island used them to process ore because you can crush the rock. We are in Palma de Mallorca, one of the capital, the main city on Mallorca, a Balearic island off the east coast of Spain. Yep. And we are heading towards the Castel Belver. Oh, no, we're not going that way, though. I don't think so.
We might be able to get by them.
No, they are active. Maybe? If this live stream ends abruptly, you'll know why. Yeah, that's okay.
We're gonna have to go all the way out that way.
That's fine. You used to be able to go this way, but because of updates they're making, you can't do that anymore. When in Spain, when in Palma, do as the Palmeros.
Is there a casino here?
I don't know if there is a casino here. I will say, actually, I don't know about Palma. I have not seen any signs for a casino, and God knows we have plenty of gamblers on the ship with us. I think I would have heard them mention it. But I can neither deny nor confirm the existence of a casino here. This is, however, not Monaco, right, where there is a casino, a very famous one, in fact. By the way, that casino in Monaco, it has a very strictly enforced dress code, so don't show up wearing just anything.
Where are we from?
That's a complicated question. I guess we're originally American by nationality. Oh, yeah, all right, okay. We're originally American by nationality, but we have lived all over the world, and we're currently based out of more or less Korea, but that's a kind of nomadic situation.
We're vacation. We're tourists in Korea.
Yeah, we're perennial tourists in Korea.
Based out of Seattle.
Well, technically, we're now.
Yeah, technically based out of this.
Now, yeah, but that's not home, not even a little bit. Yeah, I love these neighborhoods, like all these little alleyways. And the best part is, there are no tourists here. We're the only tourists. We're the annoying tourists. We're the only annoying tourists here. Yay. This is what I often say in many of my travel vlogs, everyone, is to get off the beaten path. right? Wander away from the tourist zone, see what life is like actually in the place that you're visiting. I mean, obviously, the tourist zones are that usually for a good reason. And the old city of Palma is a must see 100%. But also, there's time to do both because it's a small city, relatively speaking. Well, I talk about getting away from tourists and then we hear English being spoken with a British accent, but there it is.
Phil is from Livermore, California.
Ah, Phil, welcome. Thank you for joining us here in Palma.
He's the one we've been talking to.
Oh, it's the same Phil. Oh, right. Okay, same Phil. Sorry. From California. I would honestly, I consider myself much more a citizen of the world at this point. I don't really, yeah. I'm much more of a world citizen. For certain. And again, a tip I gave earlier at the beginning of the stream, but many of you weren't here yet. If you miss lunch in Spain, and actually this applies to many places in Europe, if not all of them, but especially Spain. If you miss lunch and or you don't want to spend a lot of money on lunch because you're in a tourist area and everything is overpriced, then go to the local grocery store. I highly recommend Mercadona, and they will have a whole case of beautiful prepared foods, reasonably priced, prepared right there, and they have these lovely salads with really top quality ingredients. Let's see, like, here we go. All inexpensive, and they even have a place where you can eat. They provide utensils. There's a microwave in which you can heat up any of the dishes you choose. It's very comfortable and convenient. And reusable utensils, explicitly underscored on the packaging. Also, if you're on a... They did have sushi. Of course they did, because that's the world in which we live now. Grocery store sushi is universal. By the way, grocery store sushi is absolutely a Japanese thing as well. I would just say that the caliber of grocery store sushi in Japan is several notches above the caliber I've had in other parts of the world, for certain. What's the crossing situation like? Let's go. Albuquerque. So what was interesting at the Palacio Real, the entry, the tickets, I thought this was fascinating. So the prices were laid out and they said, 10 euros for everyone, for EU citizens and for Latin American citizens, free. So apparently Spain is still looking at Latin and Central America as somehow part of it, I suppose. Or I guess they're feeling kind of guilty. I don't know. It could go either way or it could be both.
Sorry, spider web.
They can't hear you or see you.
Yeah, well, you can tell them what I know. They know why the camera suddenly turned.
Oh, if the camera just did something funny, my cameraman ran into a spider web. Okay. I love that the man is sitting there smoking while saying he doesn't have money for food. What?
At least U.S. prepackaged sushi is, well, uninspired is the best I can say about it.
Yeah, I will say that in Japan, was mostly sashimi. But the sashimi of grocery store sashimi in Japan is such high quality that you think, why should I even go to a restaurant? But yeah, the whole sushi rolls, the complex sushi rolls, that's not a Japanese thing. That's an American innovation. In Japan, you mostly get sashimi, nigiri, chirasu sometimes, the bowls, basically what we call poke bowls. Yeah. Sorry, we are literally walking into the sunset.
Trying to get you from the side without
Yeah,
wrecking myself on one of these.
on these conveniently placed pylons. Thai street food, I'm sorry. Unless you have grilled squid sack on the menu, you do not have Thai street food. So, yeah, grilled squid sack. So, for those of you who don't know this story, oh, yeah, thank you for joining us, Phil. We are heading towards the castle. So, if you can stick around, great. If you can't,
If you make it.
if we make it, yeah. Oh, that's a pretty dress.
I'm gonna show them
Oh, yeah. Here is the marina. You can see some of the poor people boats in quotes next to the not so poor people boats. In fact, we saw two boats that looked like they were straight out of James Bond.
pancakes and octopus for everyone.
Oh, yeah, Japanese. Pancakes and octopus for everyone. Yeah.
Glad we went that route, though.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty.
never saw the windmills.
We never saw them from the below. That was pretty excellent. This is what I love about traveling without knowing much about where you're going. You actually discover things, and for me, part of the excitement of travel is the discovery. Is encountering the unexpected and being surprised, whether pleasantly or not.
Indian restaurant.
I was also surprised on the subject of things of which I was unaware before coming here. I was also surprised to discover that Antoni Gaudí actually intervened, as the bad translation goes on the signs, here in Palma, and designed the park that's around the cathedral, and the stained glass windows that are in the cathedral are largely his work. So that man got around. What can I say? Why did you laugh, handsome? We are not sailing. We are on a cruise ship that does not have sails. She is the Queen Victoria. We're on Cunard's Queen Victoria.
That'd be an awesome amount of sails.
Jesus, I can't even imagine the sails she would require. Good God, they'd be skyscraper tall. No, we're on Cunard's Queen Victoria. She is a very classy and classic cruise ship designed in the style in the likeness of Queen Elizabeth QE2, QE1, Queen Mary 1, but larger. We've done multiple tours. If you check out the recorded videos on this channel, you can get a pretty good idea, a very first-hand idea of what she looks like. She's beautiful Art Deco on the inside, wood paneling, beautiful ballroom. Oh, food porn. Food porn. Yummy Spanish pastries. Yeah. Ice cream. Of course, everywhere now gelato is to be found. Are you even hungrier, Takeda? Yeah. The shops are opening back up, slowly. So we might actually be able to do some more food porn on the way to the castle. Does mean when you get out of the tourist areas in Spain, the period between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. is really quiet, which I prefer. I don't like crowds. So if you're looking for peace and quiet and you're in Spain, 2 to 5 p.m. is the time to be out and about. Public transit here in Spain is pretty damn good and affordable. They have a fantastic bus system that goes all over the country. They've got a decent rail system, and the trains are clean and reliable. So the only time you really need a car is if you want to get out into the really small villages, which are honestly worth visiting, especially up in the hills and the mountains. There's a lot of castles out there, for instance, that are not accessible by public transit. So while I normally say things like, oh, you don't need a car to see here, well, you don't need a car to enjoy Spain, but you might enjoy it more if you get a rental car. Oh. I also have we not seen any parrots here? I haven't heard a single squawk. I really wonder what's happening with the animal population here. No cats, no dogs, no parrots. What is wrong with Palma? For those
45-minute plug.
45-minute plug, if you're enjoying this stream, please do like and subscribe. If you'd like to follow me on more of our travel adventures, we are currently cruising on Queen Victoria from basically Barcelona yesterday, Palma tomorrow. We're in Cartagena overnight, in fact. We might be going to Granada and the Alhambra. We're then proceeding from there to Cadiz, and I'm going to hopefully make it up to Sevilla this time. And then we go to Vigo and A Coruña and then Southampton. So lots of more adventures to come. And of course, I have a whole catalog of prior adventures that we have documented. So what's for dinner? We just ate lunch, so probably nothing.
Even if we go dancing.
Even if we go dancing, I can't imagine being hungry again. The salad we had was pretty filling.
It was really good.
It was good, yeah. Oh yeah, the salad that we got from Mercadona was remarkably good. It had really good quality baby greens, goat cheese.
Can you take the camera? Just for a second.
Goat cheese, and the cameraman needs to tie his shoelace. Had goat cheese and this amazing Spanish olive oil in Spain. It's really so delicious. Oh look, there's the James Bond ships. I don't know if they are visible or not.
Yeah, you kind of see.
The James.
Crowds are repulsive, Susan. We agree.
What are repulsive?
Crowds.
Crowds. Oh yeah, I can't handle crowds. It's just I've never been able to handle crowds. Even when I was a little girl, I didn't like being in crowds of children because they were loud.
It's actually born in Nice.
Oh, very nice, Phil. So are you also a French citizen, or do you have dual citizenship? Or I guess that is yeah. Are you also a French citizen means you have dual citizenship. I can English.
I was born in England.
Yeah, Nice is beautiful. The whole Riviera is just gorgeous down there. It really is. Again, another reason that a lot of people visit Nice. It's beautiful. Yeah. My cameraman was born in England, so I was born and raised in Delaware. I'm a proud Delawarean, even though I don't live there anymore. Still, there aren't many of us, and not many of us beyond the confines of the state of Delaware. So.
But his mom is from Kansas.
Oh.
My mom's from North Platte.
Yeah, right. My cameraman's mom is from North Platte. Did your mom get lost on her way to somewhere else?
No, her family moved to.
No, I was talking to Phil.
Oh.
How did she end up in Nice to create the happy event that was your birth? How interesting. Oh yeah, maybe you can see the James Bond ships better. Yeah. Like I said, there's a bunch of poor people who have their boats here. Impoverished, living on the dregs of society.
Coming soon, the new restaurant.
Ooh, this does not look promising.
It's very neon.
So, questions about travel. If you are curious about how to travel,
She was in the Peace Corps.
any particular country that interests you, just pop the questions in the comments. I've been traveling basically since I was born, and I started traveling the world when I was 17. So I circle the globe a couple of times a year on average.
She was in the Peace Corps.
Ah, Phil, your mom was in the Peace Corps. That is, wow. Wow, and to be born in France as a consequence of that, that's pretty neat. Oh, okay, that's fine.
So they can see you in the moon.
Yeah, it's a beautiful view. It's a beautiful view. Travel times of the year for the Mediterranean. Some of you have heard this before. I will say it again. The best times are generally October and April, or November and March for second bests. The weather in November and March can be rainy, but also it can still be pleasant, not too hot, not cold. October and April tend to be really nice. You are getting into the rainy season, so you might have a day or two of rain. But also it's the shoulder season and there will be way fewer fellow travelers. Yeah, there seem to be betting parlors in many places. Yeah, that's true right there. You're right. Betting. Super not great. Oh, it sounds like a ship. It sounds like a ship is leaving. Hopefully not ours. She wasn't supposed to leave until 11:30, so hopefully I didn't misread that. Yeah, I'm not a sports baller. I don't follow sports ball. I find watching sports ball very boring, so not my thing. I've never been a sports ball watcher. And I was living in Germany when the World Cup came there. God damn. In 2006. That was super not fun because I was living and working in the Frankfurt area where they were hosting games. Oh, bad times. Let me tell you, soccer fans are, at least in Germany, they tend to be, when they get their soccer fandom on, they turn into monsters. They get drunk, they're loud, they're obnoxious, they spill beer everywhere, they ride public transit because they're trying not to lose their licenses forever, which is what happens in Germany if you drive drunk. So yeah, they made my life a living hell because I am a public transit user. I didn't have a car. I use public transit to go everywhere for my job. And so during the World Cup, it was constantly accompanied by these drunkards. Ugh. Ooh, this place looks fun. Look at this vintage 1930 look about it. Apparently it's the market built in 1930. I'm going to assume based on its name. Yeah. So that is something to keep in mind, that a lot of things do still absolutely shut down by 2 or 3 p.m. in Spain, and they may or may not reopen depending on the kind of thing they are. So if you want to go to a market like that, go in the morning or early afternoon, but if you go later, you might not get to the market at all. This looks like a chunk of ancient Roman wall. And no sign about it whatsoever. Just some random masonry. And it continues to there, and they've just built on top of it. Fantastic. Outstanding. Here you can see people doing afternoon beverages. These are tourists. These are not Spaniards. Although I do actually hear some Spanish there. That's kind of shocking. I actually did hear some people speaking local style Spanish. That's kind of shocking. So for the most part, marina fronts tend to cater to tourists only.
I love England and their oysters.
Where is this dress from?
Siglo XV.
Sorry?
Siglo XV, de Flandres.
Flandres.
Sí. Francia, Flandres.
Where is Flandres? Sorry, is it close to Holland?
Yeah.
Flanders,
Yeah.
Yeah? Lala.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You too, is like
No,
this?
no,
you're
he's
not
modern.
original.
He's not, you're right.
Very nice. Are you off to a party?
We're off to the castle, actually, to the Castel Belver.
What's happening? Is
Nothing, it's just I'm a YouTube creator. I do medieval stuff.
I'm sorry.
No pasa nada. No pasa nada.
What's your channel then?
The Creative Contessa.
Nice. Alright.
Oh, great. Lovely. Bye. We are in the middle. We have a deluxe inside cabin. actually. So we are on the first deck, and we will be doing a live tour of the cabin. Fear not, live stream tour of the cabin. We love our deluxe inside. It is such a beautiful space. Oh yeah, this is fantastic. What the hell is this thing? Oh, this might be public. It just Park Public. Yeah, it just literally says public park. Okay, well, let's see what the sign says. Santa Quarantena. Well, that can't be good. This might have been a quarantine hospital originally. Huh. Well, let me look at the map and see if we can get to the castle through here. Because if so, this will be a much... No, we're not lost. Jesus Christ. Lost is not something we are.
Phil says, "Madam, your voice is broadcast quality."
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Says, "Can we see our luxury liner?" I'll go in.
Yeah, go in while I map some stuff. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that compliment. No, no, we cannot see. We cannot see our vehicle. Right. Okay. Well, let me see the map. We're just going to assume that all roads lead to the castle. No, that was not a parrot. That was not a parrot. Well, actually, this is about the spot we should be going up. We almost walked past the castle. Yeah.
Oh no, the other boats are on the way. I can't see our ships in here.
Yeah, we walked a little bit past it, actually. Objects in front of you may be closer than they seem. Yeah, maybe if we go up a little higher, which we will be anyway, so.
Yeah, we'll be able to see it from the castle.
Yeah.
That's the butt.
Okay. This way, dear adventurer, to the castle. Onward. I have to remember when I'm live streaming with you all, I have the microphone. I don't actually need to project. I'm accustomed to giving tours. Hola. I'm accustomed to giving tours and having to project to an entire group of people without any amplification. But here, we have the microphone. We believe in full interaction. What's the point of this if we're not interacting? I could just record a video and post if I didn't want to actually interact with you all. Custom tailored content for the win. It's very similar, actually. I have a Creative Contessa channel, which is where I do my medieval living history creative stuff. And the live streams I do there are pretty much exactly the same, except doing a project instead of walking around. We do sometimes walk around there too. But same idea. You ask questions, I answer them, we interact. We learn from each other. I share information that's hopefully interesting and useful. People listen to my melodious broadcast quality voice, and there it is. Oh, hey. Might actually get up to the castle. And even before... Oh my God, it's so bright. It's so bright. I can't see. Oh, this sol mallorquino is so intense. Oh my goodness. So in most parts of Europe, indeed many places in the world where there are castles, castles are on the top of a hill. So if you are seeking a castle and there's only one hill and you know the castle is on the hill, my travel tip is to just keep going up because that will most likely lead you to your destination. No, it is not Baltimore. That is for certain. Okay, let's see. Okay, this way. Okay, brilliant.
Head north on Avinguda de Jaune Road.
Oh my God, I can't take that. Oh wow. I just plugged the castle into the map and she calculated directions and she immediately butchered the Catalan. It was painful. I can't listen to that. Just so everyone knows, we are 15 minutes out from the castle, but that is 15 minutes, assuming a normal pace of a normal human. However, luckily for you all, I'm not a normal human. So we will probably be there in 10 minutes.
When we get to this next lane, we should be able to see it there too.
Yeah, we'll be turning left here. Okay, up we go. Yeah, it's okay. He's the postman. He's not going to hit me. The paperwork would be nightmarish. Ah, there's the castle, everyone. So you can see her. You can see her beautiful, beautiful towers. So the castle,
Very, very far distance.
very, very far distance. The Castel Bel. Look, it adheres to my advice. You find the hill on which the castle sits, and you just go up, and you will get to the castle. We are going straight up, and we will get to the castle.
Thankfully, your viewers can't hear my heavy breathing. Oh, look, and then there's stairs. How joyful.
And of course, even when you are heading to a specific destination, you should always look around, left, right, up, possibly down, depending on where you are, and admire and appreciate the beauty around you. One of the reasons we travel is to see how people live in different places, and that includes urban architecture, that includes solutions for transit.
Is this
Yes.
our first time in Spain?
No, God, no. I actually lived and studied in Granada as part of my translation degree many, many years ago. I have been back here very often. I've spent many, many months at a time, at various times of my life in Spain. So no, definitely not my first rodeo. And I will tell you that Spain is a country whose general lifestyle I appreciate and could easily enjoy. I could see myself living happily here.
No spray paint. Yeah, it's very.
Oh,
Very nice here.
that's true. We actually have passed some areas of intense spray paint, but not as many as one might perhaps expect.
Definitely not. It's been much nicer up in this neighborhood.
I'm going to apologize for any heavy breathing. I'm wearing a 15th century kirtle, and the laces don't let me expand my diaphragm as much as I might like to. For those who are non-smokers, I should warn you that Europe these days is very much a smoking place. And I'm not mentioning that to make you feel bad, Takeda. It's just that I'm now breathing someone else's smoke while trying to breathe oxygen. So it's just something you need to be aware of. Robert, welcome to Palma de Mallorca. We are heading up the hill towards Castel Belver, hopefully. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, shit. Yep. Well, we went a little too far. We should have, before the stairs, we should have turned right. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, look at the cute little sausage dog. Such a cutie. Another fluffy cutie. Look at that lovely widow's walk up there. Wow. Wow, that is a... You've got widow's peaks. That's a widow's walk. Yeah, for those who aren't familiar with the concept of a widow's walk, basically at the top of a house, there is a kind of balcony, a square balcony, where widows can pace while waiting for their husbands, well, not widows, wives who may soon be widows, can pace while waiting for their seamen, their sailor husbands to return. I grew up in a seafaring town, a shipbuilding town, in fact, from the 18th century onward, and many of the houses actually have widows' walks. Even though the sea as such isn't right there, but an inlet, a big inlet to the ocean, to the Atlantic, comes into my hometown. And so many women used to wait for their husbands to return, and in some cases, never saw them return. Hence, that architectural feature is charmingly called a widow's walk. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. That might not be a widow's walk, but on the other hand, it looks out over the marina, so yeah, okay. Now we go left. Yeah.
See, there's a sign.
Yay. Okay.
Wait, I saw signs when we were near the cathedral. That doesn't mean we're close.
That's true. That was just to give you general guidance. Go this way-ish.
This way-ish. I wonder how often they have to clean these walls to keep them that white.
Yeah, that's well, and also how tempting certain disaffected members of society might be to add color to them.
Oh wow, we don't actually just think
Oh, and actually, oh dear, the gates are already closed.
Oh no.
Seriously?
Did we walk all the way?
All the way. Goodness gracious, you act like this was much of a walk. There's a sign. I bet the sign says, go to this other entrance.
The princess is not in this castle.
Cerrado.
Forever.
Oh, the flooding. The flooding. They closed it because of the flooding and they haven't reopened the park. Right, so check out the news and look up Palma and flooding and see the pictures of what it looked like here just 2 days ago. We're talking water up to my chest in the streets. And if you look in this park, you can see that level of rainfall would create a seriously dangerous water hazard. And I guess according to Spain, it takes them a couple of days to reconsider how to do things, but they're maybe worried about more such weather coming and creating a really dangerous situation. Now the question is, does that mean the castle's not open at all? Okay, we're gonna go up the road. There's a car road right over there.
What food did you grow up with in Baltimore? Favorite?
Oh, I grew up in Delaware, not Baltimore. Delaware is a separate state from Baltimore, right? I don't know. I grew up about 60 miles from Baltimore, I guess. My favorite dishes, local dishes? Good question. Well, there's a lot of seafood, of course, because right on the ocean. Crab cakes are a very common and local specialty. Clam chowder, also. Are those my favorites necessarily? No, but those are pretty common. Crab imperial is a very common dish. It's basically like a creamy hot crab salad. Is kind of the best way I could put it, with no mayonnaise. It's just cream and flavorings. Yeah. So let's see, other local. I'm trying to remember what are local to my state now that everything is so multicultural. Oh, scrapple. Scrapple I grew up with. For those who don't know what scrapple is everything that is left over from the pig turned into this loaf mixed with some grain and whatnot. And you make it into a loaf, then you slice it and you fry it hard so that it gets crisp on both sides. And then a lot of people eat it with syrup or jam or jelly.
Robert Kempner is from Millsboro, or he's in Millsboro.
Wow, are you from or in Millsboro? You live in Millsboro? That's so cool. I grew up in Milford.
And Phil said, nice, thank you.
Okay, let's see. No, this one should. This one,
This one.
hypothetically.
Everything you don't want to eat.
Yeah, basically everything that's not, nope, this way. Everything that's not immediately edible goes into into scrapple. Leberkäse is kind of close-ish, if you know what Leberkäse is. And it's definitely, it has to be something that is handed down to us from the Moravian Germans who settled in the area, the Amish specifically, who settled in the area in the 18th century. But yeah, scrapple. If you're in Delaware, you must try scrapple just once. You might hate it, you might love it, but you should try it. I recommend it sliced thin, fried hard, both sides to get the full Maillard reaction of the proteins in the, yeah, to get the full Maillard reaction plus the caramelization of the amino acids, also the fat to get it all yummy and warmed up. Try it with syrup, maple syrup ideally, real maple syrup, jelly. Other people also eat it with ketchup. Ooh, check that out. Courtyard style living. This was a hotel or a restaurant. Oh, really? From Long Neck? That's cool. Nice. Oh dear. It's a hotel shuttle. A Cercotel. Oh. Do you see where they take us? You know, I grew up in a family that was very multicultural because of our own recent immigrant heritage. So I didn't eat a lot of the traditional Delawarean foods growing up.
Super local, awesome.
Yeah, but scrapple, she be Delaware. Of course, you know, down at the beach, boardwalk fries from the various boardwalk fry establishments there. To this day, and this is going to sound horrible, you all know that I'm almost a rabid non-smoker. Takeda, I love you, not a criticism. But when I smell the smell of deep frying oil, plus cigarettes, plus the salty smell of low tide, I'm instantly transported back to my childhood at Rehoboth Beach. and that horrible sounding combination makes me happy. Yeah, it's a beautiful neighborhood. Wow, that's not a bad house if you can get it. Holy God. Wow, so there's a little bit of money in this neighborhood is what I'm gathering.
Unless it's been subdivided into 30 different
It doesn't look like that kind of home. And for those of you who are not familiar with Wiesbaden, Germany, Wiesbaden, Germany was this amazing, it is a spa town, but in the 19th century, it was the spa town, par excellence. Inhabited by the richest of the rich, by royalty, by, you know, royal cousins, by nobility, by robber barons. And so they built these immense mansions in the town. Well, most of those people lost their wealth after World War I for various reasons. And so those mansions, of course, are extremely expensive to upkeep. And apparently modern rich fat cats don't really care for those kinds of homes. So they've been mostly subdivided up into like 30 or 40 apartments. Yes? Oh, you're right. Okay, we'll keep following it. I was just going to look at the map, but why do that when there's a brown sign? So we are now skirting around the bottom of the castle. At this point, we're probably not going to make it into the castle because by the time we get there, they'll have closed, but I'm hoping we can at least walk around the castle.
Yeah, it's 6:20.
And we would have been there in perfectly good time had it not been for deadly flooding. I mean, really, why am I even here?
Phil says he grew up in San Francisco with urine-flavored fog banks.
Urine-flavored fog bank sounds So here's my question for you, Phil. Your unflavored fog banks, does that bring you happiness when you smell that combination of odors? The way my combination of old deep vat frying oil, cigarette smoke, and the rancid smell of low tide transports me instantly to a happier time.
Turned earlier. We should have.
No, we couldn't have.
No, I mean,
Oh, you mean where the gate was locked? Yeah.
down.
Oh, yeah, this,
How about this street?
yeah. Well, I think it was still going to take us to the pedestrian entrance. Those gates look closed also.
I can't tell if those are gates.
Oh, they're gates.
Yeah, it's close.
So this has kind of been our luck often traveling recently, that we get someplace. There's a sign on the gate. Yeah, okay, so it looks like,
We can't even get up to it.
yeah, it's just closed. Sigh. Okay, well, maybe we can get a shot of it. Maybe we can see it a little bit better.
Go up there. Answer any final questions.
Burn some more calories up the hill. Look at this beautiful home here. Ah, sigh. So of course we checked the website, and the website said everything was open, but so Spain is not quite as chaotic neutral as Turkey is, but it's still chaotic. Maybe chaotic good. Spain might be chaotic good.
Message attracted.
Wait, there's a car coming out. How are they coming out? Damn it.
You can ask when they're open.
Won't matter to us. No castle. Sad. Oh no.
Yeah, why'd you look?
Oh, there's a missing dog sign. Oh well. Vale.
Hoy ha sido un día extraño. ¿Habláis español?
Sí, yo sí.
Ah, un día raro porque había alerta naranja por tormenta
Sí, he leído.
y al final
Vale.
no ha llovido.
Sí, claro. Así es siempre.
El domingo tuvimos abierto y había unas 500 personas,
Ay.
rayos,
Dios.
tornados.
Tornados, sí.
Sí, en
Ay.
este lado de aquí cayeron 6 o 7 pinos gigantes. Sí,
Guau.
nunca se sabe.
Wow.
Os podría dejar entrar, lo que pasa es que luego no podréis,
Sí, es verdad.
si queréis entrar.
Pues gracias.
Mañana estará abierto.
Está bien, gracias. Ya mañana. No estaremos aquí, pero gracias. Okay, so they closed it today because they were predicted to have these massive thunderstorms.
Right.
Which is why, by the way, for those of you who are medieval reenactors and are hating on the kirtle with the collar, the reason I'm not wearing the gown over top is because, yeah. Sí. Oh, sí, está bien. Sí. Sí, no pasa nada, está bien.
Si queréis entrar, hay una manera de salir después.
Ah, sí.
Sí. ¿Eh? Hay una por la puerta. Bueno.
Ah,
ven.
vale. Come on, he's going to show us how to get in and get out.
Como no creo que vaya a llover. Mira.
Sí.
¿Dónde estamos? Aquí. Estamos aquí, ¿vale?
Yeah.
Mira, aquí, esto es ahora, si subes, aquí la
Sí,
primera
sí.
curva, hay un camino,
Sí, vale.
¿vale? Y a la derecha es que está hay una urbanización.
Ujú.
Aquí no hay puerta. Aquí hay una salida y se puede salir a pie.
Ah, vale.
Pero no hay luz. Tenéis que
Tener cuidado, sí.
Sí, porque ahora anochece pronto. Si queréis entrar.
So we can go in. There is an entrance. Here, this doesn't have a gate. There's no lights. Shall we go in, handsome?
We have to walk all the way around to
Yeah, I mean, we go in and we can still go up and
How do we
everything.
go in from here?
He's going to let us in.
Oh.
Shall we go in? Sure. You only live once. YOLO. Okay.
Ahora aquí en la primera curva veréis que hay un camino.
Sí. Vale. Vale. Gracias, señor. Que tenga una buena tarde. Okay. Okay, so we can go in. I love Spain. This is what I meant by it's chaotic good. Like, so here's the story. 2 days ago, I mentioned the floods, right? And the floods were terrible. They apparently had 500 people up at the castle when the floods came. And he said there were tornadoes here. So it wasn't just flooding, it was tornadoes, it was lightning, it was hail, it was chaos, right? And so when they heard that there were thunderstorms predicted again, they just closed the castle down. So he's the castle caretaker, right? So he's just leaving because he was there caretaking. And so the castle wasn't open at all today. But we're going to go ahead and go up and we're going to take a look around the base of the castle. And there is an entrance that's not locked. So.
Must not be. We saw the runner.
Yeah, we saw a runner. Yeah, we saw a runner.
Right. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. La cara de Nino, el alma de hombre. I don't know. Phil's writing in Spanish.
Oh. La cara de niño, el alma de hombre.
Okay. I gotta go back. Takeda said it sounds like the weather has been fairly rough your whole trip. Actually, it's been really
Well, no, this is the funny part. The weather has not been rough when we've been there. It's been rough before or after we've gone there, usually before.
We had one super squall.
We had one super squall at the beginning of Kujadazi, and that was it. Otherwise, the Mediterranean has been a pussycat. She has been a mirror. Do any of you remember the game Myst from the 90s, the video game Myst, the puzzle solving game? Right? So in the game Myst, when that game came out, it was revolutionary, right? The graphics were, oh my God. But I remember thinking at the time, the water is so strange looking. Water doesn't look like that. Well, yes, it does. The Mediterranean looks like that when it's mirror calm. It gets so calm that it actually develops this weird counter ripple effect that is still flat. And it looks just like the water in Myst. So yeah, we actually have had amazingly calm seas. It's just that before we get there, the weather seems to open up or we experience a brief surge while we're there. But otherwise, wow, we've been blessed, really. So yes, they closed down the castle today, anticipating the same horrible storms, and then it didn't happen. And that's why I'm also not wearing a gown, the gown that would actually go over this normally, because I saw the prediction of violent thunderstorms, and I said, no, thank you. I don't feel like having 4 layers of silk become a sponge with a 30-foot train or 30-foot hemline.
Somebody with a very long name says hi. Say hello to whoever.
Darrell?
For the first 4 letters.
Okay. Darrell, I'm sorry, my cameraman is having issues with the
As ever, I know Brent. I don't know.
Darrell, welcome to Palma de Mallorca. We are now heading up.
That's where he said we can leave.
Yeah, that's where we can leave. We are now heading up to Castel Belver, which is a 13th century castle that is circular. And we have had a lovely walk from the old city of Palma and are now making our way to this unique piece of architecture because there are not many circular, and I don't mean dodecahedral or octagonal or anything like that. I mean circular, properly circular castles. This is one of the few.
Bill says, I'm so appreciative of your time and experience. Blown away.
Oh, thank you for joining us today, Phil. Welcome to my community.
Speaking of which,
Oh, yes.
I think we're in like an hour.
Yeah. If you're enjoying this content, as always, please like and subscribe. And if you would like access to extra benefits, consider becoming a channel member. So it looks like we can, yeah, but there's a footpath this way. Do you want to walk up the road or go up the footpath?
I don't know if the sign said that we could go this way.
There's a sign pointing this way. Let me see. Huh, apparently there's a playground that way. Okay, maybe not.
Talk about luck. We got there just as the caretaker.
Yeah, talk about luck. We
You know what? Go ahead. Go on.
we because he heard me say we won't be here tomorrow. So yeah, the caretaker who was just leaving and explained why the castle is closed today. And as he said, it was a very strange day. We closed it down and for no reason. But he said you can never know. Nunca se sabe.
He's asking, can I buy drinks? Where at?
Yeah. So Phil, if your question was, can you buy drinks on the ship? Oh yes. Cruise ships make their money from people buying drinks, and not just alcoholic drinks. They offer premium teas, premium shishi coffees, premium soft drinks, mocktails. Yeah. The ship from some cruise lines actually are known as booze cruises. But yeah, on Cunard, you can absolutely buy drinks on the ship. But you don't have to, actually. A lot of people bring their own alcohol on board because, frankly, the cost of alcohol on board Cunard is crazy expensive, in my opinion. For instance, 125 milliliter glass of Laurent Perrier Champagne is $18 US plus a 15% gratuity, which they don't include in the price, which I think is ridiculous and absurd.
Yeah, they should just include the gratuity.
Gratuities should just be part of the price, I'm sorry. Especially because it automatically gets tacked on anyway. They're just cheating you, deceiving you by not advertising the actual cost of the beverage.
I wonder why they don't just leave the other gates open if you can just come into the
I think they'd rather not have a flood of people. It's like the secret gate, you know, locals know about it. He did say there are no lights, so we had to be careful, but this is a city. It doesn't get dark here.
Yeah. And I can see in the dark. Smuggle that stuff.
Yeah. It's
You're allowed to bring what? 2 bottles?
I've never been able to actually find a limit on any official website. Some people say there's an officially published limit. I've never found it. I know people who bring whole cases. They bring whole cases onto the ship. So yeah.
I think somebody got a scooter in here.
Another travel tip I would definitely recommend for cruising in general is to remember to bring your refillable thermos with you, so that you're not buying plastic bottles of water in port like we are now, stupidly, because you can refill your thermos at the water dispensers that are in the buffet area.
Did I tell you how much that water was at the place?
No.
90 cents.
I mean, that's fine, but it's not the cost, it's the plastic.
Yeah, that's true. As you take a drink.
Right, from my plastic bottle. The nervous giggles when they see me in my 15th century finery. Yeah, what's wrong with her? Is she going to be one of those weird street performers? Oh, the living statue situation is out of control here. There was a bumblebee. There was a man pretending to do daredevil motorcycle stunts. There was the angel, the creepy stone angel. Oof, that was the stuff of nightmares. I mean, her costume was really good. Make no mistake, but that's why it was the stuff of nightmares. We actually, last time we were in Barcelona, actually, we were on Queen Elizabeth, and we met some lovely people at dinner and made friends. And one of the two of this couple, she had a visceral loathing and resentment of street performers, but especially living statues. And She was apparently walking down the street with her husband in, I think it was Palma actually, and she snapped at one of them, "Get a job!" And her husband said, "Dear, I think this is their job." You can't just tell people to get a job. She was so generous and kind in every other way, but there was just something about the living statue street performers. You know, we all have that trigger. All of us do, the completely irrational annoyance.
The natural beauty.
Especially because the living statue street performers really are literally the least annoying because they do nothing. They sit there
Until you come up to them.
creepily. Okay. Let's see. That's still the playground, but there's a map. Let's see what the map says. Everything. We've been circling around the backside of the castle now. Okay. So the castle we're here. It looks like actually we should be able to go up here. Because I don't want to take that big. Yeah.
Let's go up this way.
We're going up this way. I think we probably could have gotten there the other direction. Yeah. The signs aren't. The signs aren't designed for pedestrians.
I think this is why it said be careful. There's no lights.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh no, and there will be no bathroom now. Oh well. Thank you, water.
My love.
Thank you, water. I love you, water. Yeah, Spain, one of the things I love about Spain is how friendly the people are. And I have to say, in the last 25 years, the amount of English that is spoken here has certainly increased. It's a little annoying to me because I like to actually practice my castellano, as they used to call it. But everyone keeps switching to English when they hear him speak.
The Renaissance fair in Northern California has become a religion.
Oh, yes. No, I'm not a Ren Fair person. I do living history. And I'm absolutely not knocking on Renaissance fairs or people who frequent them, but that's a whole other culture. Takeda will confirm. Renaissance fair culture is a whole different ball of wax. And it has basically taken on a whole life of its own. What with all the pirates and the mermaids. And I'm not certain what the latest Renaissance fair fad is, but there are still some people who attend those fairs who take historical authenticity seriously, but it's really become its own culture, its own fashion. No, not a criticism on you, Phil, not at all. If you don't know, you don't know. Oh my goodness.
They won't be able to see it through the trees.
But still, everyone trust us. We can see parts of the castle.
So you go right up this screen.
Yeah, so for those who are wondering, since we're walking and I mentioned it, living history is where you take experimental archaeology.
Oh no, there's definitely deodorant.
Yeah, you take experimental archaeology and you recreate aspects of the past by actually trying them out firsthand. In some cases, living in a certain manner, trying out these techniques and this technology and this fashion and this food. For some cases, months at a time. There are living history centers in Europe where they have recreated a village, for instance, from 1381 in Denmark. And the people there live there the whole summer. They live in buildings that are rebuilt in as authentic a manner as possible. They obviously, when it comes to actual medical care, they get real medical, modern medical care. No one is bleeding them to balance their humors. But that's living history. It's trying to understand the past by recreating aspects of it with increasing levels of authenticity as time goes on, as we understand more about history by reading primary sources, by researching the archaeology, investigating the archaeology, looking at extant garments, that kind of thing. So that's living history. Reenactment is when there's a specific event that one is literally reenacting exactly as it happened. Right? That's what battle reenactment is. Oh, okay. That's what battlefield reenactment is, where they pick a battle, they acquire the kit that is appropriate for that battle, and they go and they reenact it.
Evidently, Viking furries is the new thing.
Viking furries is the new thing in the Ren Fair world. Okay, well, I mean, wasn't that already the fake Vikings? Weren't they already furry with all the furs they were wearing the way Vikings never did?
But I watched that show.
Yeah, I watched that show. Didn't they also have dreadlocks and wear makeup?
Oh, the men did.
They wore
And
perfume.
braided their. Oh
They-
yeah, perfume.
They wore perfume and braided their beards. Oh my goodness, yeah. So that's the difference between living history and reenactment. And for me, I'm particularly interested in courtly medieval culture, at least on the reliving part of things. I'm also interested in exploring all of the handcrafts and the aspects of daily life, for instance, how laundry was washed and how grain was ground, that sort of thing. I don't know why, but getting closer to history has always been very important to me. Understanding how we've arrived at where we are has always mattered intensely. I've always wondered, well, why is it we do this thing? And to understand why we do this thing this way now, you sometimes have to go back thousands of years.
Vikings were not fluffy people.
Yeah, Vikings were not fluffy.
Okay, people.
Okay,
We're almost at the big reveal.
we're almost there. Oh, the gate's open. The gate's open! By the way, we have now passed a whole bunch of people who clearly are familiar with the secret exit. At least I hope they are. Or they're going to be here until tomorrow. All right. We're almost there, everyone. Here she is. Oh, she's so beautiful. Glitter light like that. Wow, how elegant. Yeah. So that tower, can they see the tower? Is that what they're looking at? The tower used to have battlements, used to have the parapets. But because they developed cannon technology, heavily in the 16th century, they cut them all off so they could just put cannons up there and just shoot them out. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so the giant plastic, I have never seen dumpsters made of plastic this big. Thank you, Phil. We did it thanks to chaotic good that is Spain. Wow. She is such a beautiful castle. And yeah, you can really see how round she is. Yeah, so I think this is sandstone, right? Do we think this is sandstone? It's either limestone or sandstone. Might be limestone. It's limestone. Yeah, limestone, looking at the erosion. So one of the lovely things about limestone, which is heavily used in castles and defensive structures in the Mediterranean, is that it is this beautiful light color, and so it shines in the sunlight. And another beautiful thing about the Mediterranean, there's nearly always sunshine, except when there's flooding, apparently. So these walls, these big thick ones, these were added as part of the cannon walls. So that was a 16th century addition, which also goes to show how these structures, even though they might be built at one time, continue to be used for hundreds of years. In some cases are still being used. We've encountered naval bases all across the Mediterranean that are still using their star forts.
You know what's crazy about these walls? They're obviously expecting people to get to right here.
Yeah, that is
Angled.
that is a good point.
These are angled to where you can
They
sweep
they
crowds
they
attacking the
they
walls.
they expected some dumbass army to try to climb up this hill.
And I'm literally dripping sweat, and I'm not even wearing armor. I'm just here.
Oh my goodness! Oh look, it's
Although she is making me carry another 20 pounds of
cheese.
cheese.
It's true. Oh look, the fence doesn't go all the way to the edge. What should we do? Oh wow! You've got to come and stand here. This is Spain. It's chaotic good. Come enjoy the chaotic good that is España. Because this is where you get the best shot of the tower glowing in the sunlight.
Another Phil Says hello from Wichita, Kansas.
Phil from Wichita, welcome to Palma de Mallorca. We are up at the Castel Belver, a 13th century castle that crowns the hill just outside of the old city. And you can actually see just exactly what I meant when I said it's a round castle. It is truly a round castle. And I have never seen a round castle. No, I mean, I've seen...
There's that one round place.
I've seen dodecahedral castles. I've seen all kinds of numbers of sides, you know, edged shapes, but round like this?
They shuttered up all the windows for the
They
storm.
did. Yeah.
Sorry, people. Trying to watch.
The ground is, for now, uneven, but we're about to come around.
Sup, Phil? Phil to Phil.
A meeting of the Phils. So this castle has been used as a residence, as a prison. It was used up until the following the Spanish Civil War as a prison for Republican leaders, actually. And then it was donated to the city eventually. So now it's in the possession of the city, as it were. Wow. What an impressive castle. I'm sorry we didn't get to go inside, everyone, because it means it'll be until the next cruise, probably, that I get to go inside this castle. Apparently the City History Museum is inside. Apparently you are not allowed to use drones here. That is increasingly a restriction in almost all tourist spaces, well, historical site spaces. You are not allowed to use drones. And I'm confident that there were a bunch of irresponsible people crashing drones into people. Yeah.
Just filling in. Isn't there a round one in England that has that, though it has 3 or 4 round towers? And Phil Goodyear says that is impressive. I'm trying to think of which one's round.
No. So let me clarify.
Not around tower.
Let me clarify. I didn't mean that there aren't other round castles. I, despite the hundreds of castles I've seen, haven't personally seen one, but there could well be round castles. In fact, there's a Wikipedia site, I think, that's Round Castles of Europe. No, what I meant is this is the first round castle I have personally seen. Yeah.
Second. On that, although that one's this is the earliest one for sure. But there was the one that had been turned in. Oh no, that was a prison. They made it a prison.
Yeah, that was a prison.
That they made around. It was round so that the guards could see everything at once.
Yeah, that wasn't a castle.
That's right.
Yeah. No, and that was awful. That space was horrifying.
That was kind of horrifying.
That was, yeah.
Comments.
Yeah. So questions about this castle.
Peter says hello.
Abelos, welcome to Palma de Mallorca. We are at Castel Belver. So this castle was used even in the Middle Ages as a prison, but you have to understand that the medieval idea of prison is not the same as the modern one. So when I say prison, I mean a rebel queen was held here with her sons, for instance. They were not kept in a dungeon. They lived quite comfortably. They were just held here where they couldn't have any effect on, say, politics or, more importantly, armies. So, you know, if you read history books and they talk about such and such was imprisoned in this castle, for instance, even the Tower of London, you immediately imagine they've been tossed in an oubliette and forgotten. But that's just not true. That's not how it was for your high-ranking, your upper income prisoners, right? So, yeah. You know, if I had been captured after attempting to, you know, lead a coup or take the throne for my sons and put here in some of these lovely quarters that no doubt fill this space with this terrible view of the ocean, maybe it's not such a bad way to be forced to retire.
Takeda says, that makes sense. Thanks for clarifying. I think round ones are pretty rare, though.
They are.
They're pretty rare.
They are pretty rare.
Susan says, why am I imagining looking down and getting vertigo from fear of heights? Let's look over the edge into the moat.
So this is the moat. It's now a dry moat.
On that note.
Yeah, on that note, it's now a dry moat. And I don't know if it was ever a wet moat. People always assume a moat was wet, but that's not true historically. However, nearly always the moats these days have been dried because they don't want them to be breeding grounds for mosquitoes, malaria, whatever. Yeah. Oh, and of course, so he said there's no lights, but shortly, after the sun sets, these massive floodlights are going to come on and turn this thing, it's going to make it glow from the sky.
Or have sons marry a daughter of Mr. Strongest Army in the world.
Yeah, right.
But if we go down and to the right, we might be able to see the ship from up here.
This is interesting. These are hinges. Okay.
Oh, they might be able to pull this up.
Yeah, these are hinge. No, I mean, not anymore, but I think at one point maybe the thought was they could, I don't know.
That's
Interesting.
a brilliant thing to have.
Interesting.
These concrete, well, let me show them what we're talking about.
Yes. So this is like a wooden bridge that has been built, and they've added this wall to it.
Yeah, so
wooden
the
wall.
Stops it from doing what it used to do. Fascinating.
Yeah, it used to. Wow, interesting. It used to pull back up.
You were in Jerusalem. No. Say hello to Angelica Cardona.
Hello, Angelica. Welcome to Palma de Mallorca. We are at the Castel Belver, actually, overlooking the beautiful Mediterranean and the rest of the island. And we're now going to walk around and see what else we can see from the other side.
Eventually, hopefully, find the secret exit out.
The secret exit is over there. Oh, but we will be able to see our vessel, Queen Victoria. Maybe, you're right, if it's not for the trees. So that's something else I should point out. All of this beautiful greenery, that would not have been here in the Middle Ages. You do not want enemy approachers to have secret hidden positions from which to attack. So this, or access to wood, a wide array of military devices. No. This hill would have been stripped. It would have been bare. There would have been none of this beautiful old growth trees here. Look at that. You have to look back also.
Okay, we'll look at that and we'll try and...
You can't see her from here.
Secret. I love you, Bay.
Yeah, the not so secret door.
They
exactly.
Wanna know what my name is. Here,
oh, my condottiero. This is my condottiero. This is Ryan.
Hi.
He's often the man behind the camera.
No, it didn't work. Turn around. There we go.
Oh.
Okay, look, you can see the cathedral from here.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, so everyone, in case you're wondering how far we walked.
Okay, I'm going to try and zoom in.
We'll endeavor to show you the cathedral from this perspective. That beautiful neo-Gothic cathedral built in the 13th century with the latest and greatest in flying buttress technology.
Hi, Phil.
Another Phil?
No.
Oh.
Phil said hi to me.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we walked from all the way over there.
Where's my glasses? So that's the cathedral. This thing next to it is the palace, lower and to the left. To the right of the cathedral is the museum that we were talking about.
The Archbishop's Palace.
Archbishop.
The Archbishop's Palace.
There you can see the flotilla of Mass, the forest of Mass.
Some of them. The other forest is over here.
Yeah, the other forest is over there.
There's multiple forests of Mass.
I'm going to try and get back to our... Wait, let me see if I'm at the right zoom level.
And then we can see the sun setting behind this beautiful tower. I love the spray of the palm. It's so peaceful up here. Thank God they closed it. There's no other tourists. Yeah.
All these runners. People trying to be...
All these runners. We have another runner. We have a runner. Well, it's a circle, so I'm not certain it has a back. Yes. Ah, she is gorgeous. What a beautiful piece of architecture.
I'm so glad he let us up here.
That's okay. Well, you're a man. What are you complaining about? There's all these trees here.
Remember the last time we used to shoot?
Oh, yeah. It was bad. It was very bad. Everyone. What did someone say? What happened? Yeah, that was a traumatic event in our travel lives. Oh wow.
so disappointed we didn't get to go in, but now this will be our first stop next time we come to
Yeah, we'll
Palma.
come here. But you know what? In many cases, especially with castles that are still being used up to the 20th century, the outside view is often the best view, honestly, because they get used and updated to accommodate the new uses. The inside is often very modernized, is my personal experience. So when it comes to the beauty of castles for people who are interested in, say, the medieval aspect of the castle,
Meta moment.
very often, meta moment, yeah, very often you actually want if the outside is the best view. It depends on the castle. Increasingly, castles are being restored to their medieval state because they realize that that's what tourists want to see. They don't want to see the early 20th century convention center updates.
In the Contessa's case, the outside is a great view, but the inside is awesome as well.
Oh, wow. Wow. I don't know if you all just heard that or not. I don't know if you just heard the condottiero trying to score points.
Did it work?
Am I the good boy?
Oh. Is it me?
Look at this. Look at the setting, the waning light of the setting sun over the horizon there.
In the phone, it looks like a fire to my eye.
It looks like a fire. Look at the fire in the distance. The cataclysm that is the sunset. Okay, so apparently someone brought a horse up here. Otherwise, this would be gone based on the flooding. So I'm going to assume that maybe they bring the horse-drawn carriages up here.
Yeah, I bet you.
The horse-drawn carriages come up here. So I'm a horsey girl. Some of you know, some of you don't. But now you do. Now you know I'm a horsey girl. And of course, when I go places, of course, I want to go horseback riding. But I am very leery about tourist stables and how they treat their horses. And so I will not ride just where, and I will also not take rides on those carriages unless I have some kind of really good intelligence about the lives that those horses lead.
Okay, we finally might be able to see the ship from this vantage.
Maybe.
We're heading towards.
Could be.
And then we're going to lament the walk ahead of us.
Nah, we've gotten most of the walk behind us, and it's all downhill, literally. It is. Oh wait, the bathrooms are there. They might be unlocked.
Oh, God.
Maybe. We can find out.
You want to leave the mic with me?
No, it's fine.
I thought you had to go.
No, I'm a woman. I can hold it forever.
Kitty! Are we
Wait.
Susan,
Oh my God.
there's a kitty.
Shh, everyone. Psst, psst, psst. I don't know why I just said shh, everyone. God. Psst, psst, psst. Here, kitty. Mouse. Beautiful baby kitty with the dipped tail. Psst, psst, psst. No. Psst, psst, psst. Kitty. I'm also a kitty person. No, kitty, come back. Okay, no joy, but you can. Where? Psst, psst, psst. Little baby. Psst, psst, psst. Little baby. Wow, they rode the horse all the way over to here. Or it's not a horse and they've got donkeys on this hill. Pretty kitty.
Just a second, I'm going to zoom in on the kitty for Susan.
Susan, here you go. Here's your dipstick kitty. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way. Psst, 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 psst. Come on. Psst, 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 psst. So the cat, I think, is wondering if we have food. That's why her ears are perked up. Psst, psst, psst. Come on, baby. Okay, well, no food, no joy. So here's another travel tip for the kitty lovers out there. Bring cat treats with you and you will be an instant hit with all the cats.
There is our ship.
Can they see her?
Yeah, I zoomed in a little bit. So you can kind of see her.
See,
There she is. There's the back.
in the 15th century, you could have clearly seen our ship. There would be no trees, would have been no trees.
Did you? Bye. Hi, kitty.
Phil, you're probably right.
And Susan's definitely right. The kitty's very cute. Now he's right there.
She's in good shape too. She looks really healthy, like really healthy.
Yeah, definitely female.
That's why she is looking at us. She's come over here to look at us because she's really hoping that we'll have a bag of treats for her. Users, cats are such users. Ooh, the castle view from here.
Oh, sorry guys, I forgot I was zoomed out, so that was probably super fast.
Well, everyone, are there any questions about travel? Any final, any,
And I'll run to the bathroom.
any, well,
Oh,
I,
where are you ending?
yeah, I thought we would. This is a natural place to end. This is a natural spot to end.
Evidently, I'm zoomed in
Yeah.
more than I thought.
Are there, wow, really? Could they see my pores?
There we go. Much better.
Are there any questions or comments about travel, about anything we've seen today? Tomorrow we are heading, I know we're heading towards Cartagena. I think we will get there tomorrow. So we will definitely be doing more live streaming there. Definitely. And taking you on our
Answer the first
adventures.
question.
Oh, okay.
What is your next stop?
Next stop is Cartagena. We don't know when we're getting there. We don't know what we're doing exactly, but I'm hoping that we can, because it's an overnight port. So I'm hoping, I know if it's an overnight port, we should be able to take the train to the Alhambra, to Granada. There is no train to the Alhambra, to Granada, and then make our way from the train station up to the Alhambra. So I'm really hoping, because I haven't been back to the Alhambra in 25 years. And it is one of the most magical places in the world, hands down. At least that I visited thus far. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Be warm, be well, and thank you for everything. From Joe.
Thank you all for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Haha, the ecosystem in which I must operate. Otherwise, I'd like to thank my channel members, Takeda, my just super supporters like Susan, Tanya, you're out there watching maybe as a recording. Thank you so much for Ahan, if you're there. Thank you for supporting my work. Laurie, I appreciate you all, and I look forward to interacting and taking you with me on my next adventure. Oh, thank you to my cameraman, Ryan. No?
Your necklace.
Oh, what was the question?
Nothing.
Oh.
No question.
Oh.
Armor and casting.
Oh.
They don't support. This is the travel channel.
Yeah, this is the travel channel. Yeah.
You're dressed weird, so it made me forget.
Yeah, so the original plan was to come and do a lot of filming here in the castle, which is why I'm dressed like this. But you see, best laid plans of mice and men. Basically, all of our travel goes like this. We make a plan and it blows up in the face of the enemy being reality, the universe, whatever. Okay, everyone, until next time, may your adventures be as unexpected as ours continue to be. Good night, everyone.